I had an encounter with a coworker once, working at the county jail. Um, so I was working for the school that serves the juvenile detention and the um, juvies and the like GED program for the jail. Um, and I would what was it? It was the adult class, I think. I would take over from the special education teacher at some point at like 10 o'clock or something in the morning, right? Be kind of like float around and go to every class, you know. So the kids would kind of get the expertise of everybody that was on staff and things like that. This particular morning, we got in two new students. They were both black, but they didn't look anything like each other, and they didn't act anything like each other. Like vastly different individuals. They're different ages. They're different heights. Yeah, like. But I mentioned that they're both black because the special education teacher couldn't tell them apart because they're black. So right out of the gate, tell me that's okay. Fucking hell. So she mixed them up. One of them was special ed. The other one was not. So I guess like really early in the morning she went and talked to somebody. And then like the first part of my shift was to go in and like tutor the guys in there. And that involved um me working with in the pod in the living unit where some of the students were not allowed to go to class because they were for whatever reason um, maybe they were in trouble or something like that. There were a bunch of reasons. You didn't have to necessarily be in trouble to not be able to go to class, but so the guy that was not special ed stayed in the pod, and I was the first hour tutoring, and so I saw and talked to him. And the kid that was special ed went to class. As soon as I relieved her, she goes into this whole big spiel about um, having talked to the guy that stayed behind because he was in special ed and all of this. And I'm like, no, you have them mixed up. And like this made her really, really mad. And she started like revealing, you're not supposed to do this. So in class, while there's other students there in the adult class, she starts just talking about this kid, all of his personal details and things, and all of this shit. And I'm like, you can't be doing this. She's just like yelling at me, and another teacher was there. So I was like, okay, how about we go to the office because this is not okay. This situation is not okay, and it's your fault. Let's go. Let's go to the office. And she's like, yeah, that's what I wanted to do all along, or something like that. Right? And she's like, so we get into the office, so it's just me and her. And I know this is a bad idea because I know she's fucking crazy. At this point, she's absolutely fucking crazy. And you have a male and a female teacher and no witnesses. I know she's gonna like claim something. I know she's gonna pull some shit. So she just starts like yelling at me. She like gets up in my face and starts yelling at me. And it's all bullshit. So my response is to just laugh in her face, and her reaction to this was like seriously, like she almost knocked over a table with her like recoil, like, and then she started running around the office like I was chasing her or something. But I'm just like standing there, like watching her run around like a crazy person, and I'm like, what is happening? You misidentified this kid, and now you're freaking the hell out, and now you're acting like I'm like chasing you or trying to hurt you or something. And then the phone rings, and this whole situation was so crazy, I didn't even hear the phone ring. So to me at this point, I just see her pick up the phone and then just like set it down. She didn't answer it, and I didn't hear it ringing because she's making so much crazy ass noise. Like, she picks up the phone that was ringing and just sets it down, and and eventually I'm able to like kind of back out of the room. But like the way that I back out of the room, I go right past the phone that's just sitting on the table, and I'm like trying to get her to calm the hell down while leaving the room, and turns out it was a CO that called, that she that my coworker picked up the phone and set it down. So it was a CO actually overheard the majority of like the actual words, the actual verbal interaction between us, which was mostly me trying to get her to calm the hell down and trying to get out of the room. Right. So I have a CO that can attest to this is what Mike did. So like immediately I go and I send an email to my boss about like, okay, this is what happened. She's crazy. What do you want me to do? Just so you know, this is what happened. What's going on? And it had been like 2 minutes. Like as soon as I was back to the classroom, I wrote this and sent it immediately. And she was like, "Yeah, well, I heard something happened because I just got an email from her about the situation. Um, you need to come over here and not be at the jail anymore for a while until we get this resolved." I'm like, "What?" Oh yeah, and one of the things that she was screaming the whole time while we were in the office was that um, I wasn't collegiate. You're not being collegiate. What the fuck are you? Do you know how words work? That's not a thing that's happening. Fucking hell. So eventually, like I fill out like an incident report, like with everything, and I note like times down to the minute what happened, and in the end of it, like I got to see what she had written, and her shit was just incoherent as fuck. The events were in mixed up order. There were fabricated details, and she had no times noted. Also, her account contradicted what the CO said happened, whereas mine lined up exactly with what the CO said. So I was really expecting something to happen there because I noted that in a couple instances she actually broke the law. So probably she should be fired or something. Some kind of disciplinary action. But no. Turns out all they did was come the end of her contract, they didn't offer her full time. They offered her part time on the gamble that she would just not take it and leave. Instead of actually doing anything responsible about this, they just kind of like made this like pansy ass weak move like, well, we're not going to get rid of you. It's okay. It's fine. Oh, but like next time Next year we can only take you like half-time. It did get her to leave. She didn't accept that offer, but what? What? She broke the law. She made a scene in front of this classroom. She fabricated a story. She's saying that I was like chasing her and yelling at her and saying that I was gonna hurt her and shit like this. And the CEOs were like, no, no. All he said was that she wasn't. She got the kids mixed up and she's causing a scene. And to calm down, and he's leaving now. That's all he said. Like, and this entire time, like every time anything important happens, I just glance at the clock real quick. Like, I know that this is gonna become some crazy shit, so I'm making note of the time that everything is happening at, so that I can document it. Oh my god! And so later on, I found out that she would do this to the other teachers regularly, and they all just took it. They all just let her when she would bring them into the office for these private discussions. Bullshit discussion. They would just let her rage at them and then just be like, okay, and then go on with their business. Why? Why are you putting up with this? That's what? This is a crazy person. That's abusive, like, behaviors from somebody who you're entrusting as a coworker, somebody you're entrusting with the education and safety of children. We're mandatory reporters. This needs to be dealt with. This needs to be reported to somebody. What the hell are you doing? What? And my supervisor didn't end up doing anything about it. And the district didn't end up doing anything about it. And I'm supposed to, like, this was maybe like my second year or something, and I stayed there for another like 2.5 years. And then I saw more and more and more the longer I was there of this kind of like, I was just, I don't know if it's corruption or if it's laziness or how to describe it, but what? What are you doing? What are you people doing? No. Frickin' hell. I don't understand how you can be in that sort of environment and tolerate that. It's like regularly, on a regular basis, tolerate that. It's not like it's not a one-off thing, and it wasn't minor. Right? This is a regular thing, and it's pretty major. She's crazy. She gets up in your face and screaming at you that you have to accommodate her way of doing things. And my response, apparently, she'd never seen anybody react the way I did, because I just found it fucking hilarious that she had this kind of gall. Like, you have this much audacity? So I just laughed in her face, and her reaction to that laugh was fucking amazing. Like, to a laugh? That's how you react when somebody laughs. What is wrong with you? Oh my god. Yeah. I wasn't sad to see her go, but I was sad to see that she wasn't punished in any way or fired or something. And a couple of my coworkers kept saying, why are you not allowed over there? You didn't do anything. Why is she still allowed over there? So I'm like, yeah, okay. At least somebody I work with understands that this is fucking stupid. So, like, oh, and then those people ended up getting let go. So, a little bit later on. Yeah, adventures, adventures. So, At this point in time when I'm recording this, I am unemployed, and that was my last job, and it's been months. So yeah, there's kind of I'm in the process of looking for another job, but it's these things, right? The trauma of this bullshit, is playing into sort of my reservation about working too hard to get a new job because I still have some savings. I'm still okay for a little while. I'm trying to find something that's less insane than this, hopefully. I don't know. By the time anybody sees this, because I'm making this in November and it's coming out in January, so by the time anybody sees this, I'm probably employed, but hopefully. Anyway, or dead. Who knows? That's a long enough time. Like, fucking anything could happen. Yeah. Why can't we have, like, reasonable workplaces? I feel like that's not an unfair thing to ask of society. That we have reasonable workplaces. Anyway.